little update. I wanted to show how I work using my sketchbook. Sketchbook's mostly for planning or doing rough sketches and stuff like that. So in here, I draw really preliminary sketches. Pardon me, I'm still getting over being at the hospital, so my voice is still a little cracky and stuff because all the meds they had me on, but I'm a little bit better now. So I wanted to show you how I work off of reference. So I found this really cool image. I'm not sure what it's from, but it looks really cool. And I like drawing aliens and monsters. That's what I started doing before I started drawing the female form and before I started really drawing the Ninja Turtles. So I draw a lot of monster type stuff. So this is kind of my process for drawing monsters, because if you just use your imagination, you got to think of your brain as kind of a storage device that has a limited capacity, even though our brains are probably way better than a normal SSD or hard drive. I like to draw new things, and so in order to draw new things, I will use reference, and I try to look for something completely different that I have never drawn before. And I like to draw cyborgs and aliens a lot, so that's why I started doing kind of like a hybrid, or looking for aliens that from old movies, because the costume designs and stuff were so cool back then, and they used actual physical effects instead of CGI. So the stuff, it looks more raw, more real, almost ethereal sometimes. But I'm going to show you my sketchbook, and I'm going to show you the reference that I'm using. So here we go. All right, so this is the sketch, and as you can see, it's very light. I just have some of the body, the form. I want to have like tentacles and some, let me try to get there. There we go. I'm trying to have some tentacles sticking out, obviously be the helmet. And this is the armor. It kind of looks like my angels from Midnight Eye, but I'll show you the reference in a second here. So this is the reference I'm using. I don't know what it's from. If any of you guys know, leave it in the comments. Do a reverse image search, and I think I stumped the Google image search, or my image search is not that great. Back to here, it's going to be hard to really capture my drawing right now because I don't have my rig to keep my phone steady. And as you can see, the medicines kind of have me a little shaky. Yeah, you see, I'm actually sitting in a wheelchair. I'll have me a little shaky, so holding the phone is really tough. So I'm kind of like digging into the wheelchair, so it kind of keeps me stable. But as you saw from that image, I'm really trying to capture some of the form, but give it my own little take. So this is where your personal hard drive comes into effect with what you got. Reference, on your iPad, computer, or even in a magazine. I recommend using old magazines because some of the images in old magazines, even the old ads, like from the 80s and 90s, had some really cool designs in them. And I think they're like goated when it comes to design. But as you can see here, like I got a little breathing tank right there. And this helmet, I changed the eye position and I made them a little bit more humanoid, because here it looks a lot more alien. I've never been a fan of round alien eyes because of the grays from the 50s and 40s, Roswell, New Mexico style aliens, and I feel like that's always been overdone. So I always like to draw something that I feel like if there was life out there, it would probably look a lot like ours, because the reason why our eyes are shaped the way they are is because of keeping things out of our eyes. So having them slit, it keeps the sun rays off of us. So some aliens might be affected by the sun rays, or maybe they live near a moon that's really bright. So it's a lot of those things that I like to capture. See, my legs starting to twitch. Back injuries. But I wanted to do this video because, like I said in the previous video, I've been trying to do more long form, and I don't want my health to be the reason why I don't make videos. I really miss making these long form videos. I apologize for the end of that video or that section, because my legs started twitching so much that I felt like it was just going to make you guys sick. Here I stationary the camera phone, and now you can actually see me. But yeah, hopefully that helps somebody. Trying to find that rhythm of trying to find my old rhythm again of making tutorials, but showing my process. I feel like it's a lot more interesting, especially because if you hear other artists process, it might give you some inspiration to draw something that no one else has made. And the way you do that is by putting it in your brain, and then this is your blender. So you're taking your brain, what you know already, and what you're taking in, and then mixing it in the blender, and this is your hand. I know I just feel like creating things is a gift, and especially with how weird the world is right now, I feel like creatives really have an advantage over most people because we can escape to our papers, our iPads, our 3D rendering programs, our video game creators, our music, writing, tinkering. That's one of my favorite things, is taking stuff apart and putting it back together. Yeah, so like I said, I apologize. I'm still getting over all the meds they shoved me with. Going cold turkey on all that stuff now is a little tough. But I wanted also to document, the process from the hospital with my update video, and see a year from now how I'm doing, and see if the art sensei can really come back. Because I still have the gi upstairs. It's still hanging on the wall. And I keep telling myself I'm going to go back to it. But this time I'm going to do it better. And after teaching, one of the things that I learned the most is kids want to learn. Students want to learn. And it's the way you teach them that's the most important. And if they feel that you're being genuine, it takes what you're teaching them and it sticks to them. I taught a class of drawing portraits, and in that class, I just kept giving kids tips. And at the end of the class, they were like, "Wow, we didn't think of it this way." And yeah, but that's the power of being around artists. Is it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet. You can pick a little bit here, pick a little bit there, and then you make your own style. I was always a big proponent of saying that I don't believe in styles. As you can see from my channel, I go from drawing anime to drawing real life, drawing robots, drawing weapons. But obviously the weapons in my, my MCU to say, or the ACU, the Art Sensei Cinematic Universe, is I have them, the guns are pretty much non-lethal, and they're useless because the characters in my universe, they use cunning, they use their own strength, their own power, and that's what I believe in. I don't think weapons should be used for killing. They should be used for a teaching tool, for training your eyes and training your hand-eye coordination. Even sparring. Sparring is one of the best things I ever did when I was younger, because you go into a fight, and at the end you shake hands, or you bump fists, and you're no longer, you were never enemies. You were just teaching each other. And I take that philosophy to drawing. Whenever I do a drawing and it just doesn't stick, I have so many start stops. Like here is I started drawing Sabrina Carpenter, and I didn't like how it looked, so I was like, I'll leave it there. Maybe I'll go back to it. Maybe I'll turn it to something different. This one, I really hated how her face came out, but you guys tend to see the processes go fast, so you don't see the mistakes I make, and you also don't see the gaps. When I edit it, it looks like 30 seconds. I did that all in one shot, but a lot of my drawings, I'll start it and then I'll go back to it later, and then I'll condense it into a 30-second video. or a 1-minute video for the shorts. But I felt like that wasn't really helping anybody. I feel like showing you guys this, showing you guys that even artists that have been doing this a while, they still struggle. And struggling is a good thing, because when you go over hurdles, the next hurdle is a little bit easier. And then after that, if the hurdle's a little higher, then you might fail, but you learn how to get over that hurdle. And that's what I try to teach the students at school is don't ever let the hurdles get the best of you, and keep focusing and keep putting stuff in this hard drive, because eventually, just like all hard drives, they start to fail. And I feel like the more education, more useful information you stick in your brain, the less likely you're going to lose it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I rambled, but it's nice to be connecting with you guys again, on a personal level, and not just, showing you my art. Anyways, I hope everybody is awesome, and don't forget to keep it over 9,000. Take care.